Hi everyone, my name is Ahmed Sayar. Welcome to my channel. Please encourage us by share, like and subscribe. So today we are going again back to the conditional type 3 with more exercises. So the form again, let's review. It's if plus past perfect, and past perfect is had plus verb in past participle, like for example had visited, had been or had plus. So sometimes you can find would, or sometimes apostrophe D, sometimes wouldn't, plus have or apostrophe VE plus the verb in the past participle. So this is the rule of conditional type 3. Great. So example, if he had worked hard, he would have succeeded. Another example, if she'd been free, she would have traveled with us. Again, conditional type 3 is used or refers to past situations. So a cause in the past that had the result in the past. For example, here we have he didn't work hard in the first sentence. In the second sentence, she wasn't free. So these are two causes in the past. So the consequence of the result of these causes in the past again, she didn't succeed. Okay, he didn't succeed. So he didn't work hard. So the result, he didn't succeed. And she wasn't free. The result is she didn't travel with us. Great. Now let's move to past wishes and regrets. So they refers to past situations. So the form is subject pronoun plus wish plus subject pronoun plus verb in past perfect. So we start with the real situation in the past, which is Karim didn't revise his lessons. So that's a real situation in the past. It's negative. He didn't revise his lessons. So Karim, we cannot change the situation. It's impossible, but we can wish or we can regret. Okay. Karim wishes he had revised his lessons. So pay attention. When the real situation is negative, the wish clause is going to be the opposite, affirmative. Okay. With if only, same thing. If only Karim had revised his lessons. So this is the cause that lead to an effect, a consequence or a result in the past. Okay, so he didn't revise his lessons, so he failed. Okay, so Karim wishes he had revised his lessons. If only Karim had revised his lessons, but he didn't revise them, so we cannot change the past, but we can just regret it. Okay, next one. Rewrite these sentences as suggested. Now we move to practice a little bit, okay? So, Bob didn't study hard. He got bad marks. Great. So again, where is the cause and where is the effect? That's the first question I need to ask, okay? So to know the cause and the effect, we just ask the question why. So let's put why here and see if it makes sense. Bob didn't study. Why? Because he got bad marks. Does it make sense? Now let's move to the other way. He got bad marks because he didn't study. Does it make sense? Yes, the second one makes sense. So, Bob got bad marks because he didn't study hard. So, he didn't study hard is going to be the cause. And the effect is going to be he got bad marks. Great. Now, we know that the if is always followed by the cause, then the effects. Great. Now, I'm going to ask now another question, the verb. So where are the verbs? So the verbs, the first one is study, it's negative, and the second one is got. Great. So then the form of these verbs. So affirmative for got and negative for didn't. Great. So here we have the cause. The verb is negative, which means I must put it in the affirmative form, which means also that I had to put here the past perfect affirmative. So had studied. Great. So the verb study in the past perfect affirmative is going to be had studied. Now let's look again to the effect. The effect here we have the verb get. It's in the past. It's in the past affirmative. So I must put it in the negative and it's going to be with the main clause wouldn't have. That's the negative form of the main clause. So finish my sentence. If Bob had studied hard, he wouldn't have got bad marks. So that's my sentence. Or you can say Bob wishes he, same thing, wishes he had studied hard. Okay. if only against the same thing, Bob, or if only Bob had studied hard. Bob wishes he had studied hard. If only Bob had studied hard, what would happen? He wouldn't have got bad marks. Great. Let's move now to another example. She wasn't at home. She lost the keys. Again, here I need to know where is the cause, where is the effect. Asking the question, why? So if I say she wasn't at home, why? Because she lost the keys. If I say she lost the keys, why? Because she wasn't at home. So I think the first one is going to give a good meaning. So the cause here is she lost the keys. Okay, so she wasn't at home because she lost the keys. So this is going to be the cause. And here let's notice that the verb is affirmative, which means that I must put it in the negative form. So if plus the cause, which is affirmative, is going to be negative, past perfect negative. Yes, if plus negative, so it's going to be if hadn't lost. Great, plus. Now I said the effect is she wasn't at home. Great, so the effect here is negative, she wasn't, which means I need to put it in the affirmative form. So which means that the sentence is going to be would have. Great. Now if she hadn't lost what? The keys, she wouldn't have. So she wouldn't have here. Where is the verb? So the verb, look at the sentence. She wasn't at home. The verb is wasn't. So the verb to be, which means wouldn't have plus the past perfect of the past participle of the verb wasn't is going to be been. Great. So being at home. That's my sentence. She wishes, or if only, again, same thing. If only she wishes she hadn't lost the keys, she would have been at home. Next sentence. We didn't use the net. We finished late. Great. Where is the cause? Where is the effect? Ask the question why and because. We didn't use the net because we finished late, or we finished late because we didn't use the net. So this is going to be the cause. We didn't use the net if we had used the net. So the net, why? Because the net makes things very quick and the work going very fast. So we didn't use the net. The consequence is we finished late. Great. So this is the cause, and the cause is negative, which means that it must be affirmative, past perfect affirmative. So if only had used. Great. The effect here is affirmative, which means it must be negative, which means wouldn't have. So wouldn't have finished. Now finish my sentence. If only we had used the net, we wouldn't have finished late. Great. That's my sentence. Okay. We wish we had used the net. We wouldn't have finished late. So what if I change late by early? Now here the sentence is going to change. So we're going to say we wish we had used the net. We would have finished early. Great. Let's move to another example. She didn't have any flour, so she couldn't make any cakes yesterday. Great. So again, rewrite the sentence with if. Where is the cause? Where is the effect? Now, here we have so, and so is used with the effect, which means that so she couldn't make any cakes, it's going to be the effect, and she didn't have any flour is going to be the cause. Great. Now, the verb forms. Next question. The verb forms, here we have the negative. And the negative means that I must write it in the affirmative form, which means past perfect affirmative, which means had and had. Great. Now the effect is negative, means that I must turn it into the affirmative form, which means that I must use would have. Now would have plus the verb here, the verb is to make, is going to be would have, past participle of make, made. Great. So finish my sentence. If she had had, so here we have any, and any is used with the negative. Now the sentence is not more negative, so which means I need to change it into some. If she had had some flour, she would have made. Again here we have any, so which means I need to change it into some. So here the sentence is going to be some cakes yesterday. So if she had had some flour, she would have made some cakes yesterday. Another example. They couldn't go to cinema because they had no one to take care of their baby. Great. Again, rewrite the sentence with they wish they. Great. So first question I'm going to ask, where is the cause? Where is the effect? So here I notice that we have because. Great. So because is used to express the cause. So second part of the sentence is going to be the cause, and the first part is going to be the effect. Great. Now next move. What is the... I know that wish is always followed by the cause. Now the verb form then. So the verb form with the cause is had no one, so it's negative. Why negative? Because I have no. What does it mean? It means that if I say the sentence in the other way, it's going to be they didn't have anyone to take care of their baby. Wow, great. So the verb is really negative, which means I must turn it into the affirmative form. Affirmative form means it's the past perfect affirmative. Great. It means had, and the verb here had. Great. So finish my sentence again. Had no one here is not going to be used, okay, because the sentence is no more negative. It turned into affirmative, so which means I need to use someone. So they wish they had someone to take care of their baby. They. Now we move to the effect. In the effect here we have couldn't. Effect is negative, which means I must turn it into the affirmative form. Great. So it means that I must use would have plus the verb go in the past participle. Would have gone to cinema. My sentence is going to be they wish they had someone to take care of their baby. They would have gone to cinema. Great. Let's move to another example. The weather wasn't warm enough, so they didn't go swimming. Great. So here, rewrite the sentence with if. Where is the cause? Where is the effect? So look at so, and so is used to express the effect. Great. And the cause is going to be the first part of the sentence. Now I know that if is followed by the cause, and the cause here, the form of the verb is negative, which means I must turn it into the affirmative form, which means that I must write the past perfect affirmative, because I have here wasn't, and the verb wasn't, the past participle is been, so the sentence must be used with had been. So if had been. Great. Finish my sentence then. If the weather had been warm enough, they, and I finish the sentence. So look at the effect here. So the effect I have didn't go swimming. The verb is to go swimming, and it's negative here, which means that I must change it into the affirmative form. So would have plus the verb go, which is going to be gone. My sentence is if the weather had been warm enough, they would have gone swimming, but the weather wasn't warm enough, so they didn't go swimming. Great. So, next sentence, next example. He couldn't play football on Sundays because he had to work. Great. Rewrite the sentence with if only. So, if you feel you can do it, just stop the video and do it yourself and then correct. So here, the first question I'm going to ask again, where is the cause, where is the effect? So, the cause is because, so express the cause, and the effect is going to be the first part of the sentence. Great. So I know that if only is usually followed by the cause. So here, which means that I need to look at the cause. The verb here had is affirmative. I must change it into the negative form. So which means I must write the past perfect negative, which means hadn't had. Great. So if only he hadn't had to work. Great. So I'll finish my sentence again. He. Now the effect here couldn't play football, so the effect is negative. Great, which means I must change it into the affirmative form. So the affirmative form is going to be would play. Okay, would have, and then the verb, which is here play, would have played. So finish my sentence. Then, if only he hadn't had to work, he would have played football on Sunday. Great. Let's move to another example. I didn't know the dress was too big for me because I didn't try it on the shop. So rewrite the sentence with wish. If you feel yourself you can do it, just stop the video and do it, please. First thing you are going to do, ask the question. Where is the cause? Where is the effect? And here we have because, so this is going to be the cause. The effect is going to be the first one. Very good. And the rule says wish is always followed by the cause. Great. So the cause here is the form of the verb I didn't try is negative, which means I must turn it into the affirmative. This means that I must write the past perfect affirmative. So which means had plus the verb past participle. And the verb here is try. Very good. Which means had tried. Yes. So that's, I'm going step by step here. Okay. So I wish I had tried what? I cannot write it because it is not identified. So I have to identify the thing I'm talking about. Okay. I wish I had tried the dress on the shop. Okay. I wish I had tried the dress on the shop. Then, or you can say, if only I had tried the dress on the shop. The effect or the result is what? So look at the effect here. So I didn't know the dress was too big. So this is the effect. Okay. So the effect is negative, which means I must turn it into the affirmative form, which means would have plus the verb. Here you have know. So would have known. Okay. I would have known it was too big. So if only I had tried the dress on the shop, I would have known it was too big, but I didn't try it, so I didn't know it was too big. Next example again. First sentence. He failed his driving test, so he couldn't drive himself to work. Great. Rewrite the sentence with if. So if he hadn't failed his driving test, he would or he could have driven himself to work. Okay. So again, the cause is failed his driving test. The consequence is couldn't drive himself. Next example. I didn't know your friend, so I didn't speak to her. Rewrite the sentence with I wish or if only. Think about it. Look for the cause and the effect. Then look at the form of the verbs. So the cause here is didn't know. The effect here is didn't speak. Both cause and effect are negative, which means that I'm going to use the cause here had known, and the effect here would have verb speak spoken. So my sentence is going to be I wish I had known your friend. I would have spoken to her. I hope those exercises would have helped you in understanding more the conditional type 3 and regrets and past wishes. Thank you for watching. This is Ahmed Sayar. Please, before you leave, encourage us by like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. See you in other courses.